Hello, everybody. Hi. This is. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this.
Good morning, everybody. How are you?
Good morning. We came to see you anyways.
My name is Lori, and I work for State Rep Joe McKenna. And we're here today for a really special presentation. Many of you are not aware of Quilts of Valor. And Quilts of Valor are to say thank you back to our veterans. And today we have two very special people. We have Cecile and we have Kevin. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Joe, who will introduce Teresa, and this is really a special day, so sit back and enjoy what Teresa has for us.
Hi, I'm Joe McKenna, State Rep here in town. If you don't know me, I'm actually going to hand it over to Teresa first to explain a little bit about Quilts of Valor, and then I'll say a few words after. So we've been partnering with her for a number of years now, and it's a great way to show appreciation for veterans. So.
Good morning. It is a good morning so far. We worry about the weather later. My name is Teresa Peralta, and I'm the state coordinator for an organization called Quilts of Valor. Our purpose or our mission is to make sure that we cover all veterans that we can with a Quilt of Valor. There is no special criteria, no special job. You don't have to have been in a certain area. Don't have to have been in a certain war. It's just the fact that you have been, or the veteran has been touched by war. Before I actually talk about touched by war, I have a little poem that I like to read because to me it's important, but I'm sure it's important to every veteran who hears it. It's called, "It is the Veteran." It is the veteran, not the preacher who has given us the freedom of religion. It is the veteran, not the reporter who has given us the freedom of the press. It is the veteran, not the poet, who has given us the freedom of speech. It is the veteran, not the campus organizer, who has given us the freedom to assemble and the right to demonstrate. It is the veteran, not the police, who have given us the right to secure our persons. It is the veteran, not the lawyer, who has given us the right to a fair trial. It is the veteran, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote. It is the veteran who salutes the flag. It is the veteran who served under the flag, who gave his or her oath to support and defend the Constitution and our nation against all enemies, foreign and domestic. It is the veteran willing to give his or her life to protect your freedoms and mine, and whose casket will be covered by the flag. May God bless all of our veterans everywhere. Catherine Robinson, Catherine was a lady whose son was deployed to Afghanistan. Being a mother and being anybody who has had a member of the family deployed, they worry, they just cannot console themselves. He was despondent and depressed. She knew it by mother's instinct. So what she did was she went to, she fell asleep one night. She had a dream. Now he's in Afghanistan in the desert, she's walking through a forest. But that's what dreams do. him sitting on a log, and she wanted a way to console him. And his magical dreams are, she had a blanket in her hand, so she wrapped him around with the blanket for comfort, to console him. She woke up the next morning feeling 100% better. She said, now I know what my job is. She got together with her ladies in Maryland, and they decided to quilt some quilts and bring them to cover vets. They went to Walter Reed and talked to the chaplain. He said, we want you to give these to the vets. They had half a dozen quilts. He said, what am I going to do with half a dozen quilts? Do you know how many people are here? And they said, mother's intuition, mother's intuition. So he covered the few vets that he was able to, came back the next day and said how many and how fast. That's what started the grassroots movement of Quilts of Valor. We have groups all over the United States, in England and in Australia and in Canada, who now get together and make beautiful tops. The tops are then put together with batting and backing. We give them to people who have long arm quilting machines because we could never quilt them fast enough to get them to vets. There are over 6,000 groups across that area that now work. We have 6 in Massachusetts, and we also have those other guilds or people who do their own and give it to us. And our job is not, my job or anybody's job is now to make sure that veterans are covered with quilts. Touched by War is the philosophy that we have. The mission of Quilts of Valor Foundation is to cover service members and veterans touched by war with comforting and healing quilts of valor. Quilts of Valor original mission was to cover service members and veterans wounded physically or psychologically with comforting quilts of valor. No one really liked the word psychologically, and U.S. Army Chaplain John Callison suggested using touched by war as a replacement. The Foundation's original focus was on young service members wounded in Iraq and Afghanistan. Catherine Roberts, the Foundation's founder, recalls the light of inclusiveness that she experienced at a Vietnam Veterans Memorial Traveling Ball in 2009. Catherine's group planned to award the Quilts of Valor to the OIF and OEF veterans, but none were present. Patriot Guard veterans were there to ride on their motorcycles to ride past the wall. They received them instead. Catherine recalls that Vietnam vets said over and over again, ma'am, this is the first time in 40 years that anyone has ever thanked me for my service. I should say now 50 years. I still get that, and I want to thank every single veteran who has served or is still serving. It is very important. We all want you to know that we think of you. From then on, any warrior who has been touched by war, no matter when or her service, could receive a Quilt of Valor. No questions asked. Some in our community regret the removal of the word combat. Others welcome the change as it provides a way to recognize and honor any service member or veteran who has taken the oath of enlistment, vowing that he or she will lay down his or her life for our country and freedoms. The signer promises to defend against all enemies, foreign and domestic. These Americans vow to give their lives for you and me, no questions asked. We cannot judge what being touched by war means to a veteran. It is different for each depending on where or when they served. A nurse at Landstuhl Air Force Base, Walter Reed, Topeka, Kansas, a nurse or medic at Dover preparing remains for burial. A general serving in the Pentagon, an infantry soldier serving in a war zone in the humanitarian effort down the street. As we award these Quilts of Valor today, let us do so not with judgment, but with trust that these veterans have been touched by war. Those who wear or have worn the uniform are without question the most profoundly affected. What started in 2003 with a few quilts has now risen to over 336,061 quilts as of today. I printed it yesterday. May we continue to cover as many as we can. Thank you for being here to honor all of our veterans. I don't have a itinerary or a biography on what each of the veterans did, but we are here to honor 2 veterans today. One of them is Kevin Morse.
Before we give Kevin the quilt, I'll just say, as I mentioned, Lori and I have been partnering with Quilts of Valor for probably 5 years now and giving the quilts, and it's such a great way to have a very small token of appreciation. And it always strikes me, and it's kind of funny to me in some ways, people will come up to me as a rep and say, thank you for your service. The reality is the hardest thing that I face day to day is someone complaining that, you know, our past president was a jerk, or our current president doesn't know his address, or I'll get a phone call and I look and it's Kevin on the caller ID. Like, that's the hardest thing I have to deal with day to day. So that's not true service and dedication in my mind. It's the veterans who have true service, the veterans who have volunteered to put themselves out there so that I might have this job. So those are the people who really deserve our gratitude and our appreciation, and this is such a great way to give them a warm hug with a quilt and say thank you.
Amen.
In addition to the quilt and the Quilt of Valor certificate, I do have a house citation as well for both, and it reads, "Be it hereby known to all that the Mass House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to Kevin Morse in recognition of your receiving a handmade Quilt of Valor, individually made to express the deepest gratitude for your service to our country. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success, given this 25th day of January, signed by the Speaker and by myself."
Hold on to that. You're tall enough to help us, Joe.
And with that,
We'll show you the quilt first.
Wow.
Okay. Now, the quilts are washable. I don't want any of you to hang it in a closet or put it in a box for a memory. This is to be used, okay? Totally washable. They can put them into the washing machine. You share them with a friend. You can share them with a pet. They have a label. Oh, it's right here. Okay. The label will read, Kevin Morse, January 25th, 2023. Thank you for your service. Now we're going to fold it in half, and we're going to wrap you in it. Yep, that's the way. So you get your first hug from about 30 ladies who will work on it. I also have a pillowcase for you. One of the things that we do when we give you a pillowcase is the fact that when we originally sent them overseas, they had to be put into something else other than a camouflage bag or whatever. So they were put into these into a pillowcase, what we call a pillowcase. They called them presentation cases. But my understanding, and I've heard from fellows who have come back, said, number one, when I was in the C-130, I would have froze if I hadn't had the quilt. And two, helicopters, when they're picked up in the field, don't have doors, so papers went everywhere. So this is also a document holder. But when you watch the Patriots or the Bruins, put a pillow in it and you'll be happy. Now I have one other thing for you. Okay, it will open. Kevin Morse, United States Air Force, January 25th, 2023. This quilt is an honorary 300,000 Quilt of Valor award. The Quilts of Valor Foundation wishes to recognize you for your service to our nation. We consider it our privilege to do so, though we may never know the event of your sacrifice to protect and defend the United States of America. We award you this Quilt of Valor as an expression of gratitude from a grateful nation. It is signed by Lori Thompson, the Executive Director, and myself, Teresa Peralta. Again, thank you for your service and welcome home.
I legitimately have no worries. I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you very much, and it was my honor and privilege to serve this country.
Thank you. Now, we have a lady, Cecilia, come on up. She's an Army nurse, or was an Army nurse, is still a nurse. You're always there for us. And we have a quilt for you, okay? This is the label. Cecilia Stenstrada, January 25th, 2023. Thank you for your service. And we know that you're always going to have the stars that are going to be watching you. Now that fits very good. See, you can
She'll never take it off.
I'll read mine first, and then you can read it. Cecilia Stenstrada. I think I have it right. Okay. United States Army, January 25th, 2023. This quilt is an honorary 300,000 Quilt of Valor Award. The Quilts of Valor Foundation wishes to recognize you for your service to our nation. We consider it a privilege to do so, though we may never know the extent of your sacrifice to defend the United States of America. We award you this Quilt of Valor as an expression of gratitude from a grateful nation. It's signed by Lori Thompson, and it's signed by myself, Teresa Peralt. And I want to say thank you for your service. It's very much of an honor to be able to do the female members of the military as well as the members. But here's the pillowcase. And I'll hold on to this while Joe reads his.
And I have a citation from the House. Be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to Cecilia Steenstra in recognition of your receiving a handmade Quilt of Valor, individually made to express the deepest gratitude for your service to our country. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors, given this 25th day of January, signed by the Speaker of the House and by myself. Thank you so much for your service.
I'm just so grateful to everybody. It was a difficult time, and I was an Army nurse, so I saw a lot of things that I wished I never had to see. But I'm grateful that I was able to serve. My dad was in World War II, and I always admired him for his service. And so I decided that I wanted to do that too. So I'm just very grateful, very thankful that we survived everything we survived back then. And I just thank God and thank you all for helping me get through this thing.
I have one other little thing that I wanted to read to tell you how grateful we are, the people who work on the Quilts of Valor. It's called a Quilt of Valor poem. A few pieces of cloth from people who care to honor your service. It only seems fair. Carefully chosen materials of red, white, and blue, sewn together for those patriotic and true. A top pieced together with caring and pride, then quilted with backing and a warm layer inside. Every stitch and every seam sewn from the start with appreciation and gratitude straight from our hearts. To you who have sacrificed for those here at home, may this quilt warm and comfort you wherever you roam. Our hope with this quilt is to make sure that you knew we appreciate all you've done and all you've been through. And just as a reminder, when you see a vet and you know that they have served, please say thank you and also add welcome home. Some of them need that. All of them need that. Thank you very much.
We're good to go. Go ahead. Kevin, put your earphones on.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, love it. Love it. I don't know if we're supposed to do this, but I just had mine.
Yeah. It doesn't quite fit, but.
And mine's a little bit, I can wear it twice probably. Okay, look at the trees.
Cheese. Thank you. That's a good shot. We're good. Thank you.
You were Army during Vietnam?